Assalamu alaikum, welcome to program debate. I am your host Tariq Khan. Today we will discuss, analyze and explore African region as well as Africa's relations with Pakistan. Let me bring our guest in program, Miss Elise Paraiso. Miss Elise, thank you so much for joining us and welcome in program. Elise, what is the worldview of present day Africa as a region? What is your analysis?
Africa is now termed by almost all the analysts worldwide as the continent of the future. See, for instance, the special TV broadcast on global media such as Focus on Africa on the BBC Worldwide, presented by such a brilliant anchor as late Komla Dinor, by until recently by Nancy Kachungira. Africa is a diplomatic priority for new world stage actors. Only 15 years ago, there were few countries only which were interested in Africa, which may be except of France, always active in his former vast colonial empire in West and Central Africa. But even Russia and the even Russia, ex-USSR, and the United States, which were playing in Africa Cold War game in the second half of 20th century, went missing after the collapse of the Soviet Union. In those years, a lot of power actually closed their embassy in a number of African countries. For instance, in my country, Niger, only 3 European countries were maintaining fully fledged embassies. So now US and Russia are back, while China has emerged as a major partner of the emerging or pre-emerging nation of Africa. And Turkey, India and Pakistan, Gulf states have put now Africa in their agenda because, you know, Africa is a continent of the future. But now USA and Russia are back, while China has emerged as a major partner of the emerging or pre-emerging nation of Africa. And Turkey, India, Pakistan, Gulf states have put Africa high on their agenda and launched diplomatic initiatives similar to what you call in Islamabad Engage Africa. This is because Africa is growing demographically, culturally, economically, and also as a global influencer. And the influencer of the diaspora and semi-diaspora, that is African-rooted people born in the North Hemisphere, you know, but keeping some link and value of Mother Africa and promoting them in their new countries. It is the case for a long time in the musical field, and more recently in the world of sport, but now in the new area such as literature, theater, technology, etc. The main driver of this phenomenon remain, of course, the economic growth with a sustained continental growth of 3.5% a year since many years, and some African countries performing very strongly and being among the fastest growing economic on the planet, like Ethiopia, Ivory Coast, Rwanda, Benin, Ghana, are well above 6% of annual growth. Nowadays, of annual growth, it's okay. Nowadays, Africa is a continent of 54 countries and 1.3 billion people. They are expected, according to the projection of United Nations, to reach a combined GDP of US dollars 29 trillion by 2050. So while it's only now less than US dollars 7 trillion, barely 1/3 of US GDP. Already in 2025, most African countries will reach middle income status, that is at least $1,000 per person a year. In 30 years from now, there will be 2 billion living souls in the continent. It means that Africa is the future economic growth engine of the world. Even COVID-19, yes, this is a difficult year because of COVID-19 pandemic. So if it's not breaking the dynamism of African growth.
Elise, what are the most important contemporary partners of Africa in Asia, and how would you describe and analyze the Asia and Africa cooperation?
China is, of course, the biggest partner with the spectacular Africa-China Summit on September 2018 and multiple bilateral visits with grandiose results in terms of investment, project, action plan. The other partners are far behind, but now India and Pakistan are now in the picture. Both countries have some kind of old ties with East and South Africa because, a large part of East and South Africa were part of British Empire, just like British India. And people of British India have, in that context, settled in this African colony. So, that Gandhi started his political life in South Africa, and Aga Khan have a long tradition in that part of Africa. An example, the Aga Khan Hospital of Nairobi is mirroring the Aga Khan Hospital in Karachi. And now both countries, Pakistan and India, have an engaged Africa policy. India was first in economic area. Pakistan have to work hard to be at the level of India. But on the other hand, Pakistan has a stronger presence than India in the key sector of peacekeeping mission. Since Pakistan is a major contributor to the UN force, you may find the star or hidden flag right in the middle of Congo. Also, Pakistan may have a very strong card with the CPEC project. For CPEC and Gwadar will be a major China of African China trade relation. And in the final declaration of China-Africa Summit, the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative is an highlight. And CPEC is, of course, a major piece of Belt and Road Initiative.
From your point of view, what are the factors motivating the Pakistan to enhance Pakistan-Africa economic relations?
I think that the Engage Africa conference in November 2019, which took place in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Pakistan, and to which Excellency President Mr. Alvi and the Prime Minister Imran Khan and Minister Qureshi contribute, say everything about this motivation. It's very clear and public, and Africa cannot but be happy about that declared interest of Pakistan for our continent. That is the fact that Pakistan sees Africa as the future pole of development and a vast field of opportunities, economic and trade opportunities, as well as diplomatic opportunities. And Prime Minister Imran Khan has declared during that conference, according to the press, Africa is the second largest continent of the world with 20% of the world land mass, with 1.3 billion people and the largest population on the globe. Most of the African countries are witnessing stable growth. We believe that there is a tremendous opportunity for Pakistan goods and services in view of growing middle-class consumer market there. But there is an emotional side also. We must recall that Pakistan, from the day of this foundation, supported the struggle for freedom of the African continent and the end of colonial rule. And Pakistan is a major contributor to peacekeeping operation in Africa, with 1,000 Pak soldiers participating to the UN force, especially in Congo, RDC.
What are the business opportunities and sectors to promote Pakistan economic relations with Africa? And do you see any challenges in implementing Pakistan's Africa policy?
Agriculture and food industry are the first sector which is coming to my mind, which an even growing population both in Pakistan and in Africa, and vast possibility of trading goods to feed the people on both sides. But as His Excellency Imran Khan rightly pointed out, see my answer to the question number 3, I think that the sector of services is very important for the economic relation between Pakistan and Africa. And don't forget that the CPEC with Gwadar at its main harbor will be the natural road of trade between Africa and China. Few days after my arrival in Pakistan, I read a very interesting article under this title, CPEC and Pakistan Pivot to Africa. And more recently, there were new articles on the role of CPEC and the potential between Africa and Pakistan throughout CPEC, such as the op-ed of Colonel Mohammed Hanif in the Daily Time. There are good analyses. I can't just repeat what they underline. Now about the challenges, I see mainly 2 challenges. Pakistan must have more French-speaking diplomats for a great number of African countries, former colonies of France or Belgium, mainly in North, West, and Central Africa, have French as the official language. And French is largely used also to the vast former Portugal Empire of Africa, in former Spanish Africa, and also in the west part of former British Africa, including Nigeria and Ghana. So it's a big handicap that even in French-speaking Africa, most of your embassies don't have French-speaking diplomat or commercial attaché. You must do something about it. And Pakistan is for a lot of African people wrongly amalgamated with Afghanistan and the interminable Afghan war. Then a lot of African people think that Pakistan is itself plunged in a war and crippled by terrorism and fanatic activism. Pakistan government are doing a lot about it, but it is still a lot of more to do. You must show how peaceful and vibrant Islamabad and Lahore and Karachi are. You must show how Pakistan is a land of art, music, fashion, creativity. And by the way, you must promote your experience in restoring law and order. Some African countries that are themselves merged with terrorism and extremism, obscurant movements such as the sinister Boko Haram, have a lot to learn from you in this field.
At what level African states and governments responding to implications of Pakistan's Africa policy, and how do you see Pakistan in African perspectives?
I think it is a level, it's at the level governments that African states are reacting to Engage Africa initiative, which is a government initiative. You may, maybe you want to know if they are reacting at the level of civil society or at the level of public opinion. But while Engage Africa has indeed the content of developing people-to-people relation, as was said during the above-mentioned conference, we are not yet there because after all, the initiative is only completing his first year, a difficult year where COVID-19 put a brake on many aspects of what Pakistan want to achieve. To begin with, Pakistan wants to open 6 new embassies and upgrade some other embassies, including Pakistan embassies in my country, Nigeria. You want to send more staff in Africa, and all is going on in a slow motion than initially planned due to the virus. And Pakistan is seen as a major country of Asia and a major country of the Islamic world. This is important for a large number of African countries are Muslim too. But as I said earlier, most of Africans don't know how about Pakistan really is. Beyond this element, very often they are confused about Pakistan and Afghanistan. You have the same knowledge device about Africa. For instance, people here are always confusing Niger, my country, to Nigeria, a very different country, while an important neighbor. We have to do a lot of in Pakistan and in Africa to know each other better. I really appreciate the lifestyle in Pakistan, and Pakistan is a Muslim country, and they welcomed me as a Muslim sister because Niger also is a Muslim country, and everything about I really like Pakistani food, like biryani, and this thing is dal. Everything about Pakistan, music, fashion, Pakistani fashion, music. I really like everything about Pakistan, and I can recommend people to come and visit Pakistan to know more about Pakistan and delete this image which we have before, like Afghanistan, everything about terrorism. Pakistan is not a terrorism country, and Pakistani people are very kind and hospitable. I really appreciate. I want to clarify something. We have a bad image of Pakistan because of media, but I want to clarify that Pakistan is a very peaceful country and Muslim country in the world. Pakistan is a beautiful country, peaceful and amazing. I would like to share this for international community. Pakistan is the only Muslim country which has a nuclear power. So Pakistan can play a positive role to build global peace in the world. It's very